Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new to the channel and haven't at least checked out the introduction video to this series yet, I'd suggest watching that first, since I talk about what the goal of this series is and I go through a quick explanation of character growth. To those of you who are all caught up, in this video we'll be analyzing another of Ahsoka's character traits which she should have grown out of, taking a close look at what the writers really gave us and seeing what we can learn from what they did and didn't do. Remember, two of the things necessary for proper character growth are that we need to see the character's changed behavior, and it has to be logical based on the experiences we have seen them go through. So let's get into it. As I already mentioned in the last two videos, Ahsoka's impatience in Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2 is pretty obvious. But most people give her a pass because they claim that Season 2 Episode 11, Lightsaber Lost, is another one of those milestone episodes wherein Ahsoka learns a lesson. We do an in-depth critique/rewrite of the episode in part 16 of our analysis series, but I'll do a quick summary here. As expected, Ahsoka begins the episode by behaving impatiently, acting annoyed with Master Sunube's slow pace holding her back, running ahead of him, taking the lead away from him, telling him to hurry up, etc. Oh, and I want to add a quick note regarding this line.
You worry that if people die at the hands of your lightsaber, that you will be as guilty for their death as the one that strikes the blow. A valid concern.
It's used to justify whatever means Ahsoka takes to retrieve her lightsaber. But ultimately, the message it sends to kids is inappropriate. If you are the victim of a crime, in this case theft, you are not responsible for that criminal's future victims. That's not a valid concern. That's victim blaming. Anyway, at about the 3/4 mark, Ahsoka is forced to stop and wait, rather than making the choice to do so. But when Sunube catches up to her, he says,
I see you've learned patience.
There you have it. She's been through an experience related to learning patience, and a character told us that she'd learned it, so she has, right? We have to be shown that she's learned it. We have to see changed behavior. What is Ahsoka's behavior like after this? Well, literally 20 seconds later, Ahsoka is yelling at Sunube,
Hey! You're driving too slow! We need to go faster!
When they get to the train station, Ahsoka runs ahead of him. When Cassie takes hostages, holding a lightsaber to the throat of a mother and child, Ahsoka immediately tries to intimidate her.
You're trapped. Surrender now and turn the lightsaber over to me.
Even when she realizes that intimidation won't work, she's still acting impatiently, pressuring Cassie to surrender quickly.
Let them go.
Later, Ahsoka wants to return to Anakin before he misses her, but Sunube holds her back, asking her for one more favor, and her response is a reluctant,
Sure.
Pass on what you have learned.
When they get to the classroom, Sunube explicitly says she'll be passing on a lesson in patience. But what lesson does she begin teaching?
Gather round, younglings. Listen to the Padawan you shall.
This weapon is your life, but it is also your responsibility. Don't let it out of your sight.
I don't know about you, but that doesn't strike me as a character who has learned patience. But don't take my word for it, take Ahsoka's later behavior as evidence. Season 2, Episode 17, Bounty Hunters. After hearing Obi-Wan say that they can't get involved in the farmer's situation, Ahsoka immediately insists that they must help, too impatient to consider the bigger picture. Season 2, Episode 22, Lethal Trackdown. The dialogue between Plo Koon and Ahsoka implies that Ahsoka has been making a scene rather than subtly extracting information, a technique which requires patience. And thus, when they are ready to face Aurra Sing, Plo Koon feels a need to tell Ahsoka,
Remember, patience.
When Aurra runs for it, Ahsoka barrels after her, just like she did both times with Cassie. allowing herself to be led on a wild goose chase away from the hostages who need her help. Season 3, Episode 4, Sphere of Influence. Ahsoka mind tricks a guard to let her pass, but then doesn't wait for Chuchi, who is immediately stopped by the guard. Ahsoka is oblivious to the problem. Chuchi has to call her to get her to come back.
The detention block is closed to visitors.
Ahsoka.
Which reminds me of a moment in the beginning of Season 2. Remember in that moment that Ahsoka doesn't know the way, but she's taking the lead, and she's not paying attention to or waiting for the person behind her. It seems, despite her experience in Lightsaber Lost, her behavior hasn't changed. Season 3, Episode 7, Assassin. After her brief foray into teaching, Ahsoka is impatient to get back in on the action. So much so that she tells Anakin to take her with him against the Council's direct orders. Season 3, Mortis Arc. At the beginning of the arc, after they first land, Ahsoka does not wait for Obi-Wan or Anakin to call the shots, she just leaves the ship. Season 3, Citadel Arc. Rather than being patient and acquiring more experience before being included on dangerous missions, Ahsoka lies so she can go on a dangerous mission she was directly ordered to stay out of.
But you won't be coming along on this one.
I received orders to join the team.
And despite not knowing the plan, Ahsoka often takes the lead and runs ahead of Anakin and the others. At one point, she doesn't even take the time to properly make sure that the coast is clear, and they get caught in a firefight right by a fuel line.
What do you see, Snips?
The coast is clear.
Any sign of Obi-Wan in the shuttle?
No, I don't see him or R2 anywhere.
Seriously, the droids are right there. How did she miss that? They weren't cloaked, they weren't hiding. She just didn't look. Season 3, Padawan Lost Arc. Instead of patiently taking the time to get a full understanding of the situation by learning from Khalifa and the others, within the first day, Ahsoka is pushing the younglings to fight.
We have to act.
Which makes her look pretty hypocritical later when she insists.
We should wait.
But surely she's gained more patience by Season 4. In the Water War arc, she seems a lot more mature, and she advises Princely Char to be patient. But we later see more examples of her acting impatiently, so it looks like she's just being hypocritical again. Season 4, Episode 14, A Friend in Need. Ahsoka doesn't take the time necessary to sneak Lux off the Separatist ship, instead barreling through the droids, endangering Lux further and causing a fight between the factions. She also never stops to ask him sincere questions or to listen to what he has to say. She just steamrolls over him throughout the entire episode. Season 5, Onderon Arc. After exposing the Republic involvement on Onderon, Ahsoka immediately expects that the Jedi/Republic will fix the problem by sending reinforcements and getting involved in a full-scale battle. Which, reminder, is exactly what they were trying to avoid. This is similar to Season 2, Episode 17, Bounty Hunters. Ahsoka does not take the time to consider the big picture. She just immediately expects that the Jedi will storm in and take care of things the way she wants them to, by fighting. Season 5, Younglings Arc. After Hondo and his men board the ship, Ahsoka is impatient to get away from the younglings and deal with the pirates. The children are understandably afraid and keep asking her questions, and her tone when responding is filled with annoyance at being held back.
I'm going to reroute enough power to the engines so that we can break free of the pirate ship's hold on us, okay?
What about the pirates already on board the ship?
Once the docking tube is ruptured, when the ships pull apart, a vacuum will be created, which will suck the pirates off our ship and into space.
Will we be sucked into space?
No. The cockpit and the hold will be sealed and still have air. Do not, and I mean do not engage the pirates. Your only job is to stay hidden.
Do you understand?
Season 5 finale arc. Ahsoka does not wait to speak with the council or even give Anakin a chance to get to her before she busts out of prison and runs away to the lower levels. She just immediately assumes that the council will use her as a scapegoat.
I'm not going to take the fall for something I didn't do.
And she immediately assumes that Anakin would illegally try to bust her out.
Master, I knew you wouldn't let me down. I wonder what you have planned.
She has no patience to wait and see what her legal options are. She just jumps to negative assumptions about people she claims to trust, and then acts on them. Season 7 Mandalore arc. Ahsoka chooses to go along with Bo-Katan's insistence that
there's no time.
And once again, just like in Season 2 and Season 5, she immediately expects the Jedi/Republic to storm in and take care of things the way she wants them to. And then she gets upset when they are reluctant to do so.
Surely you understand, this is a pivotal moment in the Clone Wars. The heart of the Republic is under attack. Right now, people on Coruscant need us.
No, the Chancellor needs you.
That's not fair.
I'm not trying to be.
And I'd also like to point out here that Ahsoka witnesses Obi-Wan, one of her close Jedi mentors, exemplifying the Jedi values that she claimed to hold sacred.
I cannot allow my feelings to cloud my judgment.
But she ignores it because it contradicts what she wants. It is very obvious that she learned nothing from Sunube about taking things slowly so that you can clearly see the way ahead. She just lets herself get yanked around by emotional whims. But there's another aspect to consider as well. Let me share this clip from a pro-Ahsoka video that claims she does learn patience in Lightsaber Lost.
Hastiness was Ahsoka's defining character flaw from her very first appearance. Most of her other character flaws stemmed from it. It made her reckless, overconfident, and confrontational. Almost all of the mistakes she makes in the earlier seasons are a result of Ahsoka being impatient and moving along too fast.
So someone who praises Ahsoka's character admits that her reckless, overconfident, and confrontational behavior stems from her lack of patience. So while this list of impatient moments may seem insignificant, when you look at the vast amount of examples that I have already listed under short-sighted, i.e. reckless behavior, cocky, i.e. overconfident behavior, and aggressive, i.e. confrontational behavior, well, this list gets a whole lot longer. And that's part of the problem that I've noticed in videos that claim Ahsoka does grow. They only focus on one particular episode where she supposedly learns a lesson. They never talk about the episodes following. They don't show examples of her putting into practice the lesson she supposedly learns. If someone made an argument for Ahsoka's growth that actually relied on evidence within the show itself, not supplemented by fan speculation or outside material, I'd be really interested in seeing that. But I don't think anyone will do that. I don't think anyone can. I've pointed out moments where Ahsoka changes her tune, where she's telling other characters the lesson she's supposed to have learned, but it just comes off as hypocrisy, because more often, we see her shamelessly engaging in the behavior she should not be. So, what have we seen here? The writers did give her an experience related to the trait she was supposed to grow out of, but they never showed her grow out of it. They just had a character tell us that she did. Remember how I mentioned that Ahsoka was forced to stop and wait instead of making the choice to do so? That moment is one of the keys to making this attempt at character growth work better. If Ahsoka had made the choice to stop and wait, it would have showed her making an effort to be patient. In real life, changed behavior doesn't often come easily. Giving your character a distinct moment or moments of decision helps create realism, and also allows for the character to struggle with the shift in their behavior without losing track of their growth arc. If we see them fail, we see them regretting it and making an effort to try again. Their decisions can be made consciously or subconsciously, obvious or implied to the audience, But the important thing is that we see the evidence of those decisions. We see a progression toward changed behavior. Sadly, we see no such progression with Ahsoka. Her impatient behavior continues the same as it did before. No remorse, no choice to do better, no change. But what about her other traits? In the next installment of this case study, I'll be focusing on her mistreatment of and her insensitivity toward others, and analyzing whether the writers did well or poorly in having her grow out of those traits. So don't forget to subscribe, and if you liked this video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments how you would rewrite Lightsaber Lost in order to give Ahsoka a real opportunity to show growth. Also, we have a Patreon, so if you want to help support our content creation, be sure to check that out. See you around! At about the 3/4 mark, Ahsoka way! Yeah! Hostages who need her help. I do love my alliteration. Which makes her look pretty hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. It's a krill that's hippo. It's a hippo krill. There you go. There's a merch idea. Hippo krill. It's like, I'll draw like a little picture of a krill with like an Ahsoka face. Be happy. Be a happy person. Are you happy? Be happy. I wasn't getting distracted by cinema therapy. What? No. I'm done. Everything is awesome. We finished another whole section today. Everything is awesome. Stab someone in the face. What? I don't need to waste your time anymore. So hey, bye.